So, welcome to the G. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here, no editing. What you see is what you get. And welcome to Flashback Monday, where we talk about all the books in this magazine. My favorite magazine in the whole wide world. It's the best. No one does as many reviews back then or today as they do. Except, of course, Goodreads. But they didn't exist way back when. So this is where you went for all your contemporaries, your regencies. Look at all those regencies and contemporaries and mainstream fiction. What is mainstream fiction? Sci-fi, inspirational, teen. And I'll never understand why they indexed every section in here except teen. Don't know why. And they also did Harlequins. Look at all those Harlequins. Getting a glare this morning. I see we're going to have trouble with the covers. Let's see. It's up a little. It's way a little. Get out of the glare. Shall we get started? Don't forget If Thens on Fridays and Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday. And of course, my daily book reviews. So, Casanova, there's going to be fights this morning. The boy is up and around, and the girls are going to put him in his place. And I'm still upset about my neighbor. My neighbor passed away, and so I took one pet food package, and it was after he had passed away. I took the pet food package because I didn't want other people to take it, and or I didn't want people to think he wasn't home or something like that. And I left a note, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want people to know that he's deceased and not home. So I took the package and I took my note down. And then when I saw the family, I let them know that I had the package that was delivered after he was deceased. Unknowns to me until much later in time, other people on the block were also taking his packages to hold them for him just in case. But what disturbs me the greatest is the fact that they took the packages before he died. And some of those packages contained medical supplies. That's what really ticked me off. And when the relatives found out, they weren't too pleased about it either. That this person took about 10 packages. 3 or 4 were cat food and dog food. Some were some other stuff. I don't know what was in them. And 2 boxes were medical supplies. And I walked around all day yesterday going, she took his medical supplies while he was still alive. I didn't know. Or I would have told them he was still alive. Because I could hear the TV through my walls. And this TV was still going. And he was still active on the internet. So for a week before he died, she took all of his packages, including his medical supplies. The kids were not happy when they saw that. And I thought she had a box or 2 when she said. But when we went down there to retrieve them, and she had a huge pile of boxes in her garage. Like, really? And he was still alive. And the dates on the packages that they were delivered shows that she'd been taking them for over a week. But anyways, we digress. let's get back to Flashback Monday. I guess it's a little bit of TMI, huh? I'm just so pissed about it. Alright, so Kate Noble, Let It Be Me is our first one. Massive green dress. How well this is gonna be today. Let it be me. 4.5 stars. Noble's latest enchants with a tale that touches readers on many levels. The growth of her characters, the romantic setting, and the addition of music to her deliciously passionate world demonstrates why Noble is a fan favorite. Always in the shadows of her beautiful sister, Bridget holds tight to her dream of studying under revered Venetian composer Vincenzo Carpini. When a tree crashes into her home, she goes to Italy, where she meets Oliver Merrick, who has been writing to her under the guise of Carpini. Normally, Carpini wouldn't take Bridget as a student, but he's put in his career, and Oliver's on the line with a wager against the Austrian composer Klein, his student against Klein's. Oliver senses Bridget's stage fright, and as she falls under Venice's spell, he falls in love with her. Oh. And if you watched last year I did all of J.R. Ward's, and I should have picked it up when I thought about it this morning, but I didn't. It's on the floor there. Um, yeah. So you know what? Just a sec. No special editing here. No special editing here. So, well, this book. Oh, you know what? So, while this book was written 2013. Oh, I forgot to mention this is April 2013 edition. While this book was written in April 2013, and there's a naked guy on the cover, or semi, well, he's got clothes on. There he is. Darius by Grace Burroughs. Big Regency author. I was thinking of him. I was like, oh, Darius. Like, oh. It was just a thought. But anyways. 4.5 stars. Burroughs presents readers with a delightfully different romance, replete with all of the nuances of the era and depicting class distinction, speech, dress, and comportment. Readers will feel they have traveled back in time against this colorful backdrop. The elderly and ill fourth Viscount Longstreet summons Darius Lindsay to a discreet meeting where he proposes the means for Darius to extract himself from a life of shame and repay his family debts. William offers him a chance at redemption. Spend a month with his wife, Lady Vivian, get her with child, and he can retire for his life of degradation. As weeks pass, Darius makes love to Vivian, but also teaches her how to deal with the world after William has died. Vivian cannot comprehend what Darius has done and to safeguard his family, or why he protects her from those who would harm her. When the time comes, will he be able to prove the death of his love for her and their child? Ah, one of my favorite authors, Miss Susan Enoch. Oh, shoot. I'm a little dense. I didn't realize I had this. Darius. Naked guy on the cover. With his beloved sister tainted by scandal, his widowed brother shattered by grief, his funds cut off, Darius Lindsay sets no option but to sell himself body and soul, until the day he encounters lovely, beguiling Lady Vivian Longsheep, whose tenderness and understanding wrap his soul in a grace he knows he'd never deserve. Aww. Um, the handbook. Do you need a handbook? The handbook to handling his lordship. 4.5 stars. This fourth installment in the Scandalous Bride series is a clever tale. Ina combines wonderful characters who have marvelous chemistry with a clever plot and fast pace. Add to this bit of mystery a dastardly villain and the perfect ending, and the handbook to handling his lordship guides readers to a delectable evening's entertainment. Nate Stokes, Earl of Westfall, has recently inherited his title. Before his cousin's death, he was a spy. His reputation for finding lost objects is why the Marquis of Eberling hires him to find a necklace that will lead to a murderess. For 3 years, Emily Portsman has made her home at the Tantalus Club, a gentleman's gambling establishment where no one asks questions about your past. Nate suspects Emily is not who she seems to be. Emily hopes she will find out what he's really doing at the club, but once she's in his arm, it's hard to remember anything. Oh. Nate Stokes, the Earl of Westfall, is a supremely accomplished former spy, more at home on London's seedy streets than in the glittery ballroom. His peers know him only as bookish fellow who can find anything or anyone. When the Marquis of Ebeling hires him to find a murderess, Nate's search leads him to the Tantalus Club and Emily Portsman. And the book I can't find. Let's see. Secrets of a Runaway Bride. Little light here. Know how well you can see that. 4.5 stars. What a fantastic follow-up to Bowman's dynamic debut as she delivers an enchanting smart romance that shines with laugh-out-loud humor. With her sister on her honeymoon, Annie Andrews seizes the opportunity to run off with the man of her dreams. Unfortunately, her sister asks Jordan Holloway, Earl of Ashbourne, to keep an eye on her. It seems everywhere she turns, her guardian appears out of nowhere to thwart her plans. Jordan finds Annie's escapades somewhat amusing, but soon he takes matters into his own hands by bringing her to his country estate. She turns his world upside down and his house into a home. Now Jordan has no idea what to do with the minx but to kiss her. Ah, a book I had and I gave away and now I'm trying to find again. I'm very mad at myself for giving these away during COVID. I should not have. If I had known I was going to have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't have given away 1,000 books. Now I got to get them back, and it may take the rest of my life to get some of these back. Especially the Laura Lee. But anyways, what did I say? Oh, let's see. Vampire, or looks like it anyway. If he's tempted. Hannah Howell. Hannah Howell and her Highland series. If he's tempted, 4.5 stars. This next installment in the Werlock series is another Howl winner. Well-developed characters and snappy dialogue compel readers to turn the pages while eagerly anticipating their characters' next moves. When Lady Olympia Werlock is approached by Lady Agatha Malin to help her find her brother, Brant, before she is forced into an unwanted marriage, Olympia cannot refuse. Since Werelocks have powers, Olivia knows things. Brant Malin, the Earl of Fieldgate, has spent the last 2 years wallowing in self-pity and debauchery. When Olympia arrives to tell Brant about his sister, he realizes he has spent too much time ignoring his responsibilities. He decides to investigate the problems befalling his family and uncovers that his mother is involved in some very sordid dealings. Shame on you, Mom. Sins of a ruthless rogue. Naked guy on the cover. Ah. Oh, that's one I missed. um, Anna Randall, with his intriguing plot and unusually erotic backdrop, Randall's story is sexy thriller read would gladly immerse themselves in. After Clayton Campbell uncovers his employer's embezzlement, he was betrayed by the woman he loved and sentenced to hang. Then recruited by the British Secret Service. Olivia Swift couldn't let Clayton destroy her family. For years she had borne the guilt of his death while rebuilding their business. Now Clayton reappears ready to destroy everything she has worked for. Before she can convince him of her innocence, she is abducted and dragged off to St. Petersburg by Russian revolutionaries who believes she is Clayton's spy partner. Against his better judgment, Clayton follows the kidnappers and agrees to help them. Okay. If you have not watched my Sky O'Malley series, please go back and watch those. Sky O'Malley is the absolute best. There isn't anybody else better than Sky O'Malley. And she's much better than Claire Beach and Fandle Razor. Well, actually, Sky existed 200 years prior to Claire. Claire has been through some stuff. She has. But not as much as Sky. But Claire has. Francesca. The Renaissance has fascinated readers, art lovers, and historians for generations. Leave it to a grand mistress of the genre to bring this glorious, politically tumultuous era to life in the Silk Merchant's Daughter series. Since her sister's disastrous marriage, Francesca D'Angelo's parents have given the strong-willed girl freedom in choosing a husband, but she turns all suitors away. Then she is summoned to the palace by the Duke of Torino Basso as one of 3 young women who will compete to become his bride. I don't want to compete. Oh, wait a minute. We do. The Bachelorette and the Bachelor. Seriously. Really. And the Miss ran away with the rake. 4 stars. Delightfully endearing, humorous, and fun, the story easily whisks readers into the second of the Rhymes with Love series. Lord Henry Selden is not amused when his nephew places an advertisement to find him a sensible wife, and he begins to receiving letters from would-be brides. One letter, a searing condemnation of his behavior from Miss Spooner, attracts his attention. Miss Daphne Dale is not one to believe in love. After all, the town curse makes it almost impossible for a girl to find a husband. Despite her belief in the curse, she is helping her friend prepare for her wedding to Henry's nephew, the Duke of Preston, and Daphne is thrown into constant contact with him. She begins a correspondence under an assumed name with Mr. Dishforth of an advertisement, and the letters help her get away from her annoying encounters with Henry. Henry and Daphne see themselves as oil and water, never to mix well together, but the sparks ignite into something more. And I didn't see this, but I'm just going to throw this in. I don't have a picture. And the title just hit me. And I didn't even look to see. I didn't even look for this one at all. Because I did not see it. So, we'll just go with it. It says, "Bite me, your grace." I didn't see this before. Merging the humor of Regency romp with the darkness of a vampire novel. Brooklyn Ann was the author. Anne has come up with a charming debut that captures the light and dark of the era. Readers who crave both a classic Regency and a shadowy paranormal will sink their teeth into Anne's tale. Due to the popularity of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Dr. John Poldy's Vampire, London is caught in the grips of the vampire craze, making the life difficult for Ian Ashton, Duke of Bernard and Lord Vampire of London. His problems increase when his neighbor Angelica Winthrop starts asking questions. Would-be writer Angelica is on the hunt for ideas for her own novel. Ian is more than annoyed that his privacy has been breached, and since he is tired from day trips and making sure everyone sees his reflection, he's not willing to let bygones be bygones. I just had to look at that. If you have not seen my Sinster video, please check out my Sinsters. I love my Sinsters. They are the best. And where page is it? It starts with Devil. It's the brothers. Does the twins. It goes on from there. There's like it goes to once you get through the core 11, then it's the Bastion Club and the Black Cobra Club and the Buccaneer, and your same characters. Like Devil is front and center for the first two books, but then he's a secondary character in the rest of the books. And all the family members show up in other books too. I like that she reuses the characters and the characters make appearances throughout the series, so you catch up on the characters. Which was my big issue with Fiona Buckley, is that when I read book 23, I just hated it. And then it occurred to me halfway through my review of the book that it was only because I hadn't read the first 23. You don't start a series of book 23, you started at book 1. So you get to know all the characters, so that when you get to book 23 and there's a big catch-up with family members, you enjoy it because you've gotten to know these people and you want to know what's gone on with their lives since the last book. That's why you don't start a series in book 23. So anyways, and then she fell. 4 stars. What's as much fun as a sexy, devilishly handsome Sinster man? Why, a smart, sassy Sinster lady. With her no-nonsense approach to life, spinster Henrietta Sinster has no delusions about love, but to please her cousin, she wears a family heirloom that is said to bring the wearer love. She's known as the matchbreaker, especially after she prevents an innocent from marrying James Glossop. Long-standing rivals, the Sinsters and Glossops are almost as high as the feuding scale as the Capulets and Montagues. Still, Henrietta feels a bit guilty about ruining James's chance to inherit a fortune and agrees to help him find a bride. Oh, this is going into my I've got this file going. I've got to write this down. I've got to write this down. The see. Then she the agree to help find husbands. I'm gonna do a video on it's a little secret, no spoiler. But there's a whole bunch of regencies where A and B pretend to court each other, or A and B pretend to help each other find a spouse, and they end up falling in love themselves. This is one of those. But the article, the necklace, comes from the Lady of the Veil, a sinister Lady of the Veil. Uh, who was it? Gabriel? No, the other one. The Scandal. Scandal. Pretty sure it was Scandal. Yeah. Let's move on. I think we've done all the regencies. Let's see. That one, 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 that one. Oh, nope, one more. Rake to redeem. Do your justice. Rake to redeem. At least she's got clothes on. There we go. See. Justice continues the Rancy Rogue series as she begins an infamous seduction together with an unreformed rogue and lets the sparks fly. Will Ransley, illegitimate black sheep, is determined to clear the family name. He may appear to be dissolute nobleman, but he was raised a cunning street urchin. He aims to use his skills to catch the woman who holds the key to what really happened to his cousin Max in Vienna. Forced into an untenable position, Elodie Lafier regrets her part in Max's disgrace, but when Will tries to convince her to testify, Elodie allows him to believe she'll travel to England with him. She plans to lead him on a merry chase and escape in Paris, but things don't go the way she planned. All right, on to mainstream fiction. The Secret of Ever After, a Secret of Happy Ever After. Bornheft stars. Dylan's latest tale is a tender story that strikes at the heart. It centers on friendship between two women and their close bond with each other as they navigate the disappointments that come their way. Bookish Anna always dreamed of having a big family of her own, but living with her husband's three stepdaughters is far from what she envisioned. Now she wants her own baby as she still yearns for that fairy tale dream. Anna's best friend, style-perfect business owner Michelle, is not interested in love, still dealing with the fallout from her marriage and her ex-husband who can't stay away. Yet no matter how rough it gets for the friends and how elusive happy ever after seems, both hold steady because they love each other, because they have each other. And I showed you the wrong book. Why didn't you say I showed you the wrong book? Ah, I showed you the Orphan Train. This is the secret. Well, we forgot that. The Secret of Happy Ever After. This was the title to the book. And I showed you the Orphan Train cover. I'm sorry. This is the book I just did. Sorry. No! For the Orphan Train book. I'm sorry. Christine Baker Klein, Running of Stress. This superbly composed novel tells two parallel stories of suffering and perseverance, capturing the heart and mind equally and remaining mesmerizing through the intensely heart-wrenching conclusion. In a last-ditch effort to attempt to avoid juvie, 17-year-old Molly Ayer agrees to clean out the attic of 91-year-old Vivian Daly in exchange for community service hours. Surprised by Vivian's spirit and intrigued by the history hidden with the attic, Molly delves into her task with cautious curiosity. The further Molly gets into her hours, the more Vivian's story uncovered and the striking similarities of their lives start to take hold. Though separated by time and situation, Molly and Vivian are bound together by shared hardships. The house at the end of Hope Street. Mianna von Prague, 4.5 stars. Absolutely delightful for those who love magical realism. Fans of Sarah Addison Allen will thoroughly enjoy the story from start to finish. Three women find themselves residents of magical house at the end of Hope Street that they never noticed before. Upon meeting Peggy, the house elderly caretaker, they are given 99 days for the house to help them change their lives and restore their hope. Alba, a young college student, has not had the academic path she imagined, and she has never experienced love. Carmen, a foreign singer, has a dark secret that even threatens the house. Greer, an aging actress, has been unlucky in love, yet cannot trust herself to make the right choices. See what happens there. From the kitchen of half truth. Hmm. Maria Gooden, 4 stars. A gorgeous tale of love, loss, and making sense of the past. The characters would have been wooden stereotypes, but instead are filled with energy and life. After a childhood filled with tall tales about her upbringing, and her father was a chef who died in a pastry accident, Meg was such a small baby they put her on the windowsill to grow. Meg May just wants the truth about her past. She was made fun of for believing these stories, which drove Meg to believe in science and other things that could be absolutely proven. But then when her mom becomes ill, she needs to discover the truth. The Paradise Guest House. Kind of dark there. I don't know how well you can see it. It's a door. Alan's Suspense. Suspense moving story about making sense of life after tragedy is meaningful, but it can be applied to many circumstances. Jamie, an adventure travel guide, was caught in the bombings in Bali in 2002. She returns a year later to attend a ceremony for those lost and to get some closure for what happened. She also has another motive to find Gabe, the man who helped her when she was hurt. Staying at the Paradise Guest House, Jamie meets different people, all affected by the bombing in various ways. Uh, Something about Sophie. Mary Kay McComas. 4.5 stars. McComas' latest novel is a poignant story about the power of love and the impact it leaves. It is set in picturesque small town in the South and filled with charming, heartwarming characters, all surrounding a mystery with major consequences. Kindergarten teacher Sophie Shepherd arrives in the quaint little town of Clearfield, Virginia, at the request of a man she doesn't know. When she discovers he's dead, she's left trying to figure out what he wanted to tell her. Her curiosity leads her to delve into her past with the help of new friend Dr. Drew McCarm. Little does she anticipate what she discovers from her past will affect the town she's visiting. See what happens there. Don't go. Lisa Scottoline. 4 stars. Don't go after dinner unless you want to stay up all night. Always Scottoline leaves a addictive page-turning tale that's impossible to put down until the third to the last chapter. Sadly, after a terrific 350-page roller coaster ride of plot twists and unpredictable, exhilarating hairpins, the novel's rushed and uneven happily ever after is so unrealistic, pat, and jolting, the reader is liable to get whiplash. And they still gave it 4 stars. Dr. Mike Scallion's life is spiraling out of control. He's discovered that nothing and no one, not his seemingly perfect wife Chloe, who died in a tragic accident while he was serving 2 tours in Afghanistan, his infant daughter Emily, who doesn't remember and fears him, nor his loyal sister and brother-in-law who have raised Emily during his deployment, are what they seem. Now struggling with a grievous injury, paralyzing PTSD, and horrible suspicions about his late wife's secret, Mike must come to terms with the shattered illusions in order to survive. See what happens there. Did that. Starting now. 4 stars. Maycoma's latest Blossom Street novel is a sweet story that tugs the heartstrings and hits on the joy of family, friends, and knitting, as readers have come to expect. Don't worry that those new to the series will feel lost. This novel stands on its own, with characters in previous books only playing secondary roles. When high-powered attorney Libby Morgan is laid off, her life and career are turned upside down. She assumes she'll get a job immediately. That doesn't happen, and Libby must find ways to fill her days, which is how she rediscovers the knitting that she learned from her late mother. Though that one action she's put into the path of motherless young teen, whom she mentors, and hunky Dr. Philip Stone, as she forges relationships with them along with the women of the yarn shop and a fellow attorney, Libby begins to see that her future is changing too. Let's see what happens in it. Evidence of Life. Barbara Taylor Sissel. What a bleak cover. Looks like evidence of death. The slow pace of Sissel's novel allowed readers to savor the language and well-drawn characters. When her husband and daughter embark on a weekend camp trip, Abby is focused on the pleasure of some time to herself until an historic flooding descends on the region and the two go missing. Abby rushes to find them, but weeks and then months go by with no sign of her daughter or husband. She refuses to believe they are gone, even as family and friends tell her to move on. Oops. Not good. Not good. Not good. That's a little too depressing for my butt. A little too depressing. All right, let's move on to teen. And one of my authors who's over there, Miss Armstrong. 4 stars. A fitting conclusion to Armstrong's Rising trilogy. The stakes are amplified now that Maya is on the run, with a catastrophic skin allergy to boot. The action never stops, and characters continue to not always be exactly who they seem. On the run from the nefarious cloud organization, Maya and her friends will do whatever it takes to get back home to their families who now believe they are dead. Along the way, they meet a boy with a strong tie to Maya's past. Maya's having increasingly trouble to control her animalistic instincts and fears the cat within her will take over for good. Interesting. Um, a touch of scarlet. Let's see. Okay. Doesn't look purple to me. Eva Marie Mont. The perfect book for classic lovers as well as paranormal fans. Mont's tale incorporates the theme from the Scarlet Letter while maintaining modernity. Emma seems to have it all, a wonderful best friend, Michelle, and a loving boyfriend, Gray. But after a perfect summer, Gray heads off to Coast Guard while Emma and Michelle return to school. Reading the Scarlet Letter for class, Emma starts experiencing weird events. It's almost like she's seeing the life the way Hester Prime did. I don't think that's for me. And the sweetest dark. I could do this without killing my magazine. The sweetest dark. Creates a rich and refreshing world where the miserable and merciless orphanage offers a harsh juxtaposition to Laura's enchanting new home on Iverson Castle. Eleanor Laura Jones grew up in an orphanage, adept at hiding the very things that would make her stand out. For she is no normal girl. Everywhere she goes, Lara hears songs that seem to come from stones and metals. She hears a voice claiming she is so much more than ordinary. The universe seems to agree with Lara when Lara is chosen for a scholarship to a prestigious school. There she meets boys. Okay. Inspirational. Let's see here. Um, I have no idea how to pronounce this chick's name. So just there you go. That's her name. That's the book. Amazing, touching, heartbreaking, and at same time hopeful. All of these words describe Yai Tripp's beautiful novel. Ellie owns a cafe and hides behind an overweight exterior. She has shut herself off to love. Sabrina is new in town, hiding away from tragedy in her past, among other things. Twyla has struggled with an eating disorder and is taking steps to heal and move forward. When these three women meet, what can they offer each other and help them grow or change? Um, Scorned justice. Um, Margaret Daly. For Stars, continuing her Men of Texas Ranchers series, Daly's story is driven by strong lead characters and contains a great build-up to surprise level of whodunit. District Court Judge Rebecca Morgan is working on a high-profile trial linked to the Russian mob. When her brother is unexpectedly injured, Texas Ranger Brody Callan is asked to assist in the investigation. While they were high school sweethearts, Rebecca is leery to get close to Brady, as her husband was a cop killed in the line of duty. When a cattle rustling, kidnapping, and murder occur, Brody is left to question if a larger sinister plan is at work. Hey, I don't know if I. I don't think I don't think I've got this one. Um, no, I don't. Just cross this off the list. Okay. Wanda, you know Wanda. She's been around for a while. She's still around. Her books still sell. The Hope of Spring. Wanda E. Brewster. This third installment in the Brewster Discovery series is its best to read the books in order, as this one does not provide a lot of refresher details. Meredith Stoltz almost lost her baby, the last connection to Luke, her husband. She was recently notified that he died in an accident, and Meredith worries that she may need to sell her house. Her friend Jonah buys Luke's horse to help Meredith financially. His family worries that he is getting too close to Meredith too quickly. Meanwhile, Eddie is still in a coma related to serious injuries he sustained in a beating. Nurse Susan Bailey believes he will have a medical breakthrough soon. See what happens. And the message on the quilt. Stephanie Grace Whitston. This final book in the Wonderful Quilt Chronicles is filled with romance, mystery, and the hope of finally putting the past to rest. Noah Shore, known as the Man of Many Voices, has been invited to be a speaker at the 1890 Chautauqua series. He also has come back to Nebraska to finally get answers about his past. Everything is tied to one item he has from his mother, a quilt he had for years. Emily Rhodes, daughter of the editor of the local newspaper, interviews speakers, including Noah, and sparks fly between them immediately. Right? On to sci-fi. Blood of Dragons. 4.5 stars. Hobbs' fourth book in the Rain Wild Chronicles is worthwhile and can even be read as a standalone, though doing so will compel you to run out to purchase the other three. Hobbs' ability to so clearly represent the personalities of both human and dragons is what's extraordinary. Having helped the dragons to metamorphosize into their true forms, the keepers of the dragons must help them migrate to the dragon city of Kelsingra and determine how to find the silver that is needed to sustain them. The dangers of losing themselves to the law of the memory of the stones city are great, as are the dangers from the Calodian mercenaries who are determined to bring dragon blood to their duke. Tingalagla, queen of the dragons, has been attacked, and affronts to the dragons must be avenged. See what happens there. Um, without a summer. Without a summer? Does that look like a Regency to you? 4.5 stars. The third in Mary Cowell's stellar fantasy series, Without a Summer, is the debut that is without a doubt the best of the glamorous his stories. Setting her tale in the notorious cold summer of 1816, Cowell imaginatively blends historical fact with her own elaborate metaphysics of glamour. After their lasting harrowing adventure, Jane and Vincent are enjoying an extended visit at Jane's family home, Long Park Mead, but they quickly grow restless, aching to return to their art and to a new home in London. Concerned that her sister Melody is despondent about her lack of marriage prospects, Jane invites Melody to accompany them to the city where the social whirl of the season is bound to cheer her. But when Melody shows signs of falling for the son of Jane and Vincent's new client, Jane frets about the young man's intentions. See what happens there. The Promise of Blood. Four and a half stars. Debut novelist McClellan wastes no time in settling his story in motion with the brutal execution of the land's king and queen. Game of Thrones. Isn't that the first thing they did was kill the father? The opening of the characters spin a web full of complex but sympathetic characters who involve in the overflow of corrupt court and nobility. A sea of violence sweeps in as a Field Marshal Thomas has killed his king for a mix of personal and political reasons. The city of Adapest is in chaos as revolutionaries struggle to decide a direction for the broken country while aiming to satisfy their own needs. Retired Inspector Adamant must hunt down the meaning behind a cryptic riddle left by the slaughtered nobility, but finds his aims thwarted by someone or something that wants to keep the secret. And, okay, move on to mystery. I'm your co host. She's not a happy co host. Not a happy co host. Go on. Go on. Are you going to stay? What did I do with my glasses? There we go. Yes, ma'am. Mystery! Shall we start some mystery? I thought you didn't want to be here. Maybe you do. Um, Figures it's at the bottom. No. Don't push my books off. Don't put my books off. And where you going? Paper Queen. Marble at Midnight Arch. What are you doing? Good Lord. My to be read pile is going to be on the floor in a minute. Let me just bring this back here. Anne Perry, Midnight at Marble Arch. Bestselling author Perry continues her Charlotte and Thomas Pitt series with another splendid success. She is so familiar with life at this time that the history, attitudes, and culture are slipped in seamlessly. The wife of a prominent man has been been either murdered or taken her own life has after being raped at home. Another young woman who is coming out in society is behaving in such a way that Charlotte and her great aunt Vespisa are certain she was raped, but they are not sure how to help. They understand that her reputation, not the man's, will be ruined. Victor Norway, Thomas's former superior at Special Forces, is a link between the crimes. He also feels a moral need to find out the truth. For Pitts, the cases hit emotionally close to home, as the daughter is only 2 years younger than the woman and her son, slightly younger than her. Could this happen to her daughter? Excuse me. Excuse me. You messing with my books. Smoky Ear Trip. The Money Kill. The Money Kill. Do what it says, Cheryl. The Money Kill. Um, This high-stakes suspense novel boasts fast-paced action and intriguing characters. The tension increases as the truthfulness of more and more contracts come into question, leaving the investigators with no one to trust. Leaf illustrates the complexity of family life and social inequalities with a deft hand. Private investigator Mac McCleary and his wife Karen are hired by a wealthy woman to investigate her billionaire husband for infidelity. They find no evidence of misconduct and accept a more lucrative job that includes work in London, followed by a family vacation in Sardinia. Max soon realizes that the case is bogus, but at that point it's too late to quit. See what happens. Uh, Reconstructing Amelia. Kimberly McCrite, 4.5 stars. McCrite's haunting debut will stay with you long after you are done reading. The main characters feel relatable and it's easy to feel sympathy for their situation, even though the ending is known right away. You hope against hope for happily ever after for the characters that you've become so invested in. No special editing here. I'm gonna take the batteries out of that clock, I swear. Single mother and lawyer Kate Barron gets a call from her daughter's exclusive private school. Amelia has been suspended. When she arrives at Grace Hall, she's told that Amelia has committed suicide after being accused of cheating. Though shocked, Kate takes the police at their word that it was suicide, but when she receives an anonymous text saying Kate did not jump, she begins to look through Amelia's test Facebook account and social media. She discovers things she never knew and becomes positive that Amelia did not kill herself. Uh, what the devil doesn't know. Now, if you've seen, I did a Native American video a while back. Go check that out. If then, search If Then Daily Reads book series, If Then Native Americans. And I also did Lost Birds, Ann Hillerman's Lost Birds. She actually liked my review. It's nice to get positive feedback once in a while. Even though nobody sees my channel anyway. Um wait. When the Devil Doesn't Show, Christine Barber. Santa Fe is laid out in all its glory, with ties to both past and present. In this spellbinding novel of suspense and tragedy, the beautiful yet stark backdrop of the countryside plays an integral part in the story, as do the fascinating people that inhabit the pages. The first home invasion is only the beginning. It's Christmas time, and the people of northern New Mexico are celebrating according to the old tradition. Detective Gil Montoya is at the festivities with his family when he and his partner, Joe Phillips, are called to the scene of a house fire. 3 tortured bodies, 1 burned beyond recognition, are all the evidence that remains of the break-in. At first, they think it's a hate crime, then ties to the Los Alamos National Laboratory Service. When a second assault confirms their suspicion, the investigation takes them closer to a nuclear testing facility. Oops. Taking Eve. Iris Johansson, an author you know very well. 4.5 stars. Keeping a long-running series both intriguing and suspenseful is no easy task, but superstar Johansson makes it look that way as she kicks off another trilogy within her Eve Duncan series. After finally resolving the mystery of who killed her daughter, Bonnie, Eve and Joe Quinn are hoping for some quality time. Their adopted daughter, Jane, will be flying in from London to be with them. Jim Doan has been planning his moves for a very long time, like a chess master. He puts his pieces in play in order to get his hands on Eve and force her to make a very special reconstruction. See what happens there. My pile of books just took a header. Uh, Alive. Lauren D. Estelman. It looks like Frankenstein. This lively book with an unusual setting and snappy dialogue continues the series of LA film detective Valentino. There are great details about film history, a subject and author makes intriguing. Valentino receives a call from a former friend and actor who needs to see him. Too much bad behavior has taken place, however, and Valentino refuses. When the man is found murdered the next day, it seems to be further evidence of his decline. But the case is linked to an earlier screen test real. Before Boris Karloff played Frankenstein monster, Bela Lugosi tested for the part. The real disappearance years ago, and Valentino works for UCLA in the film preservation department, wants to find both the screen test and the murderer. See what happens there. So we did that, did that. Handle moth. 4 stars. Ellery's gritty yet lyrical prose takes readers on a tour of the South of 60s, dredging up the dark times, texture, and feel period in the country's history that was marked by dramatic changes. Daniel Ford, accused of horrifying murder of his best friend Nathan, has run out of options 12 years and waits through the last 30 days of life before facing the long walk to the electric chair. Keeping him company is the vaguely mysterious Father John Russo. Russo encourages Daniel to talk about that period of time so long ago when he first met Nathan nearly 30 years ago, the tumultuous days of the 1960s. See what happens there. Um, the Good, the Bad, and the Witchy. 4 stars. Darcy Merriweather is back in the third installment of the Blake's Witchcraft mystery series. Darcy is struggling with her newfound magic when she stumbles across the body of a young local man. When the spirit of the victim imprints itself on her and she's right in the middle of a murder investigation, just as things start to heat up in her relationship with Enchanted Village Police Chief Nick Sawyer, he starts to back off due to her involvement in the case. The clues lead Darcy to the field of greenhouse where the victim worked on a top secret project. See what happens there. The Chihuahua Confidential. Hollywood is staged for this enjoyable caper starring amateur PI Jerry Sullivan and her talking chihuahua. If you haven't seen my pet video, go check that out. There are so many authors that do murders books. Murphy Russo, Murphy Brown. Jerry and Peppy are contestants on a reality show pilot called Dancing with the Dogs, where owners and their dogs dance and are scored by 3 celebrity judges. On the first day of shooting, the duo walks onto the soundstage and finds one of the judges dead. As Jerry and Peppy dance their way into the audience's hearts, they try to gather clues that will help solve the crime. When a second body is found and several of the dogs go missing, it's up to them to figure out who's behind the caper. See what happens there. One more. Do that. Stars and stripes. Stars and the black stiletto. Stars and stripes. 4 stars. Anyone who enjoyed Batgirl's adventure is going to love the Black Stiletto, a crusader for justice. She's not always fearless, but she's relentlessly driven to balance the scales. Benson's series third is a compelling story that scans back and forth over the course of 40 years. In 1960, in her undercover guise as Black Stiletto, Judy Cooper haunts the rooftops and shadowy streets of New York, pursued by police and bad guys alike. She meets a teenage boy whose father was murdered and confronts Chinese tongs to protect him. As Judy, she handles the more mundane aspects of life, working on JFK's presidential campaign, being on the scene of what could become a history-altering event, and meeting a mysterious man who could be a communist spy. Things are different in the present. Judy suffers from Alzheimer's, and her middle-aged son Martin discovers her past secret life through her diaries. He wonders how many secrets he should share with the new woman in his life, who happens to be his mother's doctor. Okay. Um, let's move on to romantic suspense. I looked for this book. I've seen it come through, but I just didn't find it right now. I've seen it all over the place. I couldn't get my hands on a copy. Whiskey Beach, Nora Roberts. And you'll have to go check out in March. I hope you watched all the Valentine's Days. Coming up is new releases on Friday, if them. We did Valentine's Day Contemporary. We did Valentine's Day Cozy. We did a whole bunch of Valentine's stuff. March, we're going to do some St. Patrick's stuff. And I got some St. Patrick's cozy mysteries and some St. Patrick's contemporary romance in the works. And I've also got this other video. I should have named it the Blarney Stone. I didn't think about it till afterwards. But I was researching for St. Patrick's, and I was getting all the materials together, and this particular website gave me 50 books, and they were 100%, 42 out of the 50 were fake. The titles were real, and the authors were real, but these titles didn't go with this author. They just didn't match. And the descriptions for each of the books, I'd say at least 10 of them had the exact same description. And a couple of the authors were like, this isn't right. There's something wrong with this, and they were going to pursue it. And Nora was one of them. So, Nora Roberts, Whiskey Beach. Did you know that you can talk to your authors in weekly podcasts? Did you know that Sherilyn Kenyon does one every Thursday at 8 p.m.? And Nora does one every couple of months. Laurel used to do them. She hasn't done them in a while. But there's quite a few authors that do weekly YouTube podcasts. Superstar Roberts' newest offering is a fantastic character study laced with mystery, murder, and passion. A centuries-old house is also a major player in this dramatic story of a man attempting to rebuild his shattered life. Defense attorney Eli London's life was shattered in the wake of his estranged wife's murder when suspicion fell on him. A year later, the murderer is still unsolved, and Eli continues to be hounded by his own personal Javette, Detective Wolf. When Eli's grandmother Hester takes a serious fall at the family Bluff house on Whiskey Beach, Eli agrees to move in to watch over it while Hester recovers at his parents'. Upon arrival, Eli is confronted by the gentle, prouding Abra Walsh, who cleans Bluff house. Among a variety of other interesting jobs, a unique personality, Abra entices Eli back to participating in life. Smoke! She's over there screaming, does your cat do that? We'll go, meow. And you're like, what? And they're like, meow. And you're like, what? And they're like, meow. And you finally get up, and you turn around, and they're 2 feet behind you going, nope, that wasn't me. Lick a paw, wasn't me. Julie Ann Walker. Thrill ride. Naked guy on the cover. The Black Knights are back, and this time the spotlight is on the team's racy, raging Cajun rock. The action starts immediately, thrusting readers into a rainforest so realistic you'll feel the sweat beating on your forehead. Like the rest of the series, the high-octane suspense continues throughout, as do the sizzling moments shared between Rock and Vanessa. When one of their own is framed for murder, Black Knight operative Vanessa Cordero refuses to believe it. Rock may be deadly, but he'll never go rogue. Determined to clear him and bring him home alive, Vanessa sets out to find Rock. With the CIA on their trail and bullets raining down on them harder than a tropical storm, Vanessa doesn't know which will be more difficult, proving Rock's innocence or keeping her feelings for him a secret. I don't know, with a body like that. But Stephanie Tyler surrender another guy with 4 stars. It's the first in her Section 8 trilogy about military men on dangerous secret assignments. Surrender is brimming over with intrigue, heroics, and plenty of action. Former Navy SEAL Dare O'Rourke knows about secrets and off-the-books international missions. His father was a member of Section 8 and has been classified as missing since Dare was a boy. Suddenly, the handler of Section 8 has given orders to kill any remaining members and their families, leading him to a shocking discovery. He has a half-sister he never knew about, Avery. Determined to keep her alive and find their father, Dare will do anything to survive. Let's see. Whiskey Pie, Surrender, Slow Burn. Hot naked guy on the cover. That seems to be a theme. Anne Marsh, 4 stars. Marsh's second Smoke Jumpers novel sizzles with headily sensual and will delight both fans and newcomers. Her insight into each character, hero and villain alike, brings the story to vivid life, and the unquenchable heat between her two leads is utterly irresistible because no attempts made to gloss over the danger of a hero's profession, and every moment feels like intense and adds to the mounting tension of the plot. Be strong, big, strong, and guff. Evan Donovan is far more comfortable leaping from planes in raging wildfires than dealing with complications of the heart. Eve Dallas is better off dealing with chemi drug heads than dealing with her feelings or handling social situations. I love my Eve Dallas. Let the Dead Sleep, Heather Glam. Let the Dead Sleep. Graham bases the first story in her new Cafferty and Quinn series around an evil object lifted from a New Orleans grave, thrusting her hero into an eerie, unknown world she never knew existed. Artist Danny Cafferty inherits an antique shop in the heart of New Orleans from her father. One day, a woman bursts into the store demanding that Danny pick up an evil statue that has killed her husband. To calm the woman, Danny agrees to meet her later. When she arrives at the woman's home, she is too late and the woman has committed suicide. Or has she? See what happens there. So, did that one, did that one, did that one, did that one, did that one. Alright. Hot Pursuit. Oop, naked guy on the cover. Claire. Oh, Claire picks up where she left off in the last installment of her Bounty Hunter series, taking readers on another wild ride. Ben Mercy wants to make a new start as a bounty hunter and leave his checkered past behind. He figures the way to do this is to catch the most wanted criminal around, the Mulligan Stew assassin. Then he meets Zoe Cortez, and the tense attraction between them is tense and passionate. See what happens. Till death. Looks a little cold. Salsa's third and last book in the Rebel trilogy continues with the Walker family as Ryle and Quinn's sister Megan Walker get their own chance at happiness. It's been almost 20 years since Lincoln Fox was wrongly convicted of killing his father. After nearly losing his life in a freak accident, he decides to go back to his family home at Rebel Ridge to find out what really happened that night. And he meets Meg Walker. See what happens there. Let's move on to contemporary romance. Christy Ridgway, The Love Shack. Hey, they're on the beach with clothes on. There's something wrong with that. Ridgway finishes up the Crescent Cove trilogy with a twofer, two charming and sizzling romances that pair up the last of her characters. Gage Lovell, a war photojournalist, is back at his childhood summer home for his brother's wedding. Though his family doesn't know it, he has just survived some hellish experiences. The only thing that got him through was the correspondence he had with Sky Alexander, another one of Cove kids. When he gets home, Sky is skittish and jumpy, not at all like the pen pal he relied on. Sky has lived at the Cove her whole life and been in love with Gage a good part of it. But now things are different and she must protect herself. You gotta be vulnerable for love. The Last Chance Book Club. 4.5 stars. Is there anything more compelling than a shattered hero with a tender heart trying desperately to get his life back together and to avoid falling for the woman who has given him grief since he was a teenager? Savannah White leaps at the opportunity to go back to Last Chance. The town reminds her of summers with her grandparents and better times. Before her contentious divorce, before her son started to become a brat, and before she made the first of too many mistakes. Everything will be great if she can keep from killing Dash Randall, former pro baseball player. Dash remembers Savannah as a princess who made his life hell when they were younger. Can they get past it? We'll see what happens there. Did that one. Love Irresistible. Love Irresistible. James' latest FBI U.S. Attorney series takes readers along on a ride filled with heat and passion. When former football star and Chicago prosecutor Kay Morgan first meets Brooke Parker, general counsel for a restaurant company, they clash, each rubbing the other the wrong way. Looking to nail a corrupt state senator, Cade needs Brooke to agree to have the senator's table bugged as one of the five-star restaurants she represents. When a fierce attraction sparks between them, they get involved with the intent of keeping it casual until it doesn't become casual anymore. Once Tempted. Naked guy on the cover. Moore's first in her new Silver Creek series is packed with plenty of great realistic dialogue and features two main characters whose actions and choices are easy to sympathize with. The death of her estranged husband and the hatred of her parents had put Tessa Casseri off men and marriage for good. Leaving New York for a new life in California, Tess takes a job at Silver Creek Ranch. This puts her in the company of Ward Knowles, son of ranch owners. Ward's mother is delighted seeing an opportunity to help Ward move on with his heart. was broken when his fiancee jilted him. Uh, Shiloh Walker. Alright, let's. Shiloh Walker. Red. Four and a half stars. This is a touching romance about best friends finding out that love was right in front of them the whole time. Once upon a time, Kate and Nate were two childhood pals that crowned the TV sets of America. Now, all grown up, Kate and Nate are Abby and Zach, still the best of friends. But far from Hollywood, Abby is a caterer in Tucson, and she's more than happy to be out of Hollywood and in control of her life until her fiance dumps her. It's a good thing she has her best friend Zach to lean on. Aww, I can see where that's going. I just dropped my marker. Um, The Wanderer. That's not right. See, said. It's in front of you, says the blind man. The Wanderer. Robin Carr. No one can do small town like Carr as she proves her new series set in Thunder Point, Oregon, with her trademark humor and heart. Carr easily paints a portrait of a place like the home every reader would love to inhabit. Nestled on the Oregon coast, Thunder Point is the small town where Hank Cooper plans to stop briefly to look into the death of an army buddy, except he is the sole heir to his friend's beachfront property. Cooper quickly gets more involved with the town and especially with fellow helicopter pilot Sarah Dupree. A divorced Coast Guard officer raising her brother, Sarah is weary of men and commitment, so Cooper is the perfect lover. Okay. Uh, let's we did this. Um, are you coming? Are you coming up? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. You've been screaming at me. So what's up? Um, let's see. The trouble with love. The trouble with love. The little fence picnic. Best Yoda, 4 stars. Siota's second in the Cupcake Lovers series can be read by itself, but you'll want to go back and read the first to revisit the characters. Toyota writes fun, sexy reads with a good dose of realism. Cupcakes at a picnic. Let's see. Joyce Barlow left the small community of Sugar Creek for the Big Apple with plans of leaving his past behind. When his past collides with him, he realizes that his history isn't all bad. Rocky Monroe has had a string of bad luck, so naturally, when she goes to New York to meet with publishers for the Cupcake Lovers' forthcoming book, she runs into one person she didn't want to see. Joyce broke her heart, but she can't stop thinking about him. Aw. Yes, ma'am. Um. Yes, ma'am. We'll get to your brush later. What she wants. Sheila Roberts. What she wants. 4 stars. Roberts keeps readers on the edge of their seats as she takes us to the psyche of men who are struggling to discover how to get and keep women. Jonathan Templer is the resident geek of Icicle Falls. He fixes computers, wears glasses, and is socially awkward. His poker buddies are also having trouble in the woman department. Determined to make an impression on the woman he's been in love with for years, he turns to romance novels to teach him. Oh, that's interesting. That looks interesting too. Phoebe Khan, Fierce Love. They're a little intertwined. Fierce passion is what runs through the aspects of Khan's novel, whether passion is the thing the characters do or the relationship in bed. Maggie Aragon never thought she'd answer the summons of a father she never had known. Yet she finds herself packing her bags for Spain to visit the much-married and world-famous Matador before he dies. Despite her plans to see him once and leave, Maggie is drawn into his world and his charm. Especially starts to like several siblings she meets. Most intriguing is her father's late protege, Raphael Mondragon, who sets his passion on fire. See what happens there. I think we've done all of these. This. We shall now move on to paranormal. Now, we just talked about her in the beginning of this video, and we will talk about her again. I also did all the books in a I forgot one. Reviews. I did the whole series, the Brotherhood series. So please go check that out. Lover at Last, J.R. Ward. Thick. And sorry. I got cat hair. You know what's good about this series is that, like the Sinsters, the characters are recurring. So even though, Wrath, and this is becoming a TV series, by the way. Wrath is still in every book. What you've seen, Wrath, Beth, Mary, you've seen, they're all in every book. The family continues each and every book. So you find out what's happened to them since the last book. It's one long soap opera. And this is becoming, they have finished casting and they have started filming the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So check that out. At Last is truly an apt descriptor, as long fans are finally rewarded with Quinn and Blaylock's love story. Unrequited love and missed opportunities have dogged these heroes as they have dealt with societal and their own prejudices. Don't forget to check out my personal review of this book. For years, Blay faced heartbreak as slowly to come to accept that his romantic love for his best friend Quinn was unrequited. They just didn't tell each other. Quinn, who has faced rejection his whole life, wanted something for himself, so he agreed to father the chosen child. However, neither relationship is fulfilling for either Blay or Quinn. It's an anonymous turn. The Brotherhood is now facing attack from 2 directions. First, in their ever-present war with the Lessers, but also from the Band of Bastards. So don't forget to check out the Black Dagger Brotherhood. All of my book reviews on them. Starting with Darius. I don't know, naked guy on the cover. Wolf with benefits. Jelly Laurenstein, 4.5 stars. Laurenstein is the queen of paranormal romance that mix over-the-top humor, eccentric characters, and sexy, crazy plots. Wolf shifter Ricky Lee Reed has come to New York to work for his cousin's security company. Ricky's not looking for anything more than a good time, but when it happens upon a she-jackal who makes his wolf stand up and beg, all bets are off. Tony Jean Lewis Parker feels like a nobody in her genius family of prodigies. Tired of playing guard nursemaid to her siblings, she had changed her job with the Carnivores hockey team and finds herself on the receiving end of Ricky Lee's very personal bodyguard talents. And another lady who's back there, Janine Frost. Despite fiery lovers Vlad and Leela surviving an attack by one of Vlad's old foes, the road to romance is not going smoothly. Book 2 in the Mega Stars Frost Night Prince series illustrates the challenges facing these two, and the results are not pretty. Naked guy on the cover. Lila knows that part of her insecurity in a relationship with Knight Prince Vlad is her psychic powers are still not working, which means she's unable to get a glimpse of the future. The collision of sensibilities between a modern woman and a medieval man forces Leah to realize that Vlad doesn't view the relationship as she does, and sadly that compels her to leave. Will they get back together? We shall see. Only lichens need a fly. Barsley. All of her covers are comic book type situations. 4.5 stars. The ability to combine humor with action and romance is both a gift and skill. Without question, Barsley has both. Archaeologist Mariah and her assistant Dove are attempting to fulfill Mariah's grandfather's dream of finding the location of an ancient tomb when they are assaulted. That their attacker Karn is a vampire is a bit mind-blowing. When they are saved by sexy werewolf named Drake and other vamps, Moya and Dave are suddenly thrust into the para world. That's what it says. Passion Prey. AC art. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. This installment involves a round of FBI agent and shifter Xavier and Dance Caprice Delgado. Both X and Caprice are strong but damaged people who watch their feelings grow before they realize they are true companion heroes. As the DC pack consolidates their territory, Sabre continues to sell lethal drugs and bring attention to the shifter universe. X is at Athena's for no particular reason when a familiar face appears as the next exotic dancer. Caprice X also picks up the scent of rogues, which makes his first priority getting Caprice out of danger. See what happens there. Allegiance. Kylie Griffin. Allegiance Sworn. Naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. The third outing in Griffin's rousing Lightblade series provides readers with a breathtaking, strong, and dedicated heroine willing to fight and sacrifice for her people. Since the murder of her family by political foes, Imhara Cole has been the clan leader for her people as they all live a dangerous double life. Defying typical Nash practices, the clan secretly lives by the old ways, meaning they don't enslave humans and they also accept the half-blood Nachai. However, if these facts are discovered, it could mean the annihilation of the clan. Interesting. And I think... Nope, one more. Kiss of Temptation. A lady that has been around a while. Naked guy on the cover. Hill's latest is a chance from the usual paranormal romance, standing the typical vampire myths on end. Readers may think the idea of a vampire Viking angels is a little bit too bizarre, but Hill really makes it work. Guilty many times over of the sin of lust, Ivak Sturgarson is now paying penance as Viking vampire angel, fighting demons known as loose empires. His current mission is at Angela Prison, playing the role of spiritual advisor. His life of celibacy has been a challenging one, but never more difficult when he meets Gabriel Sonia, a lawyer whose brother is serving time in Angola. He swears he will keep her safe, but the vow of celibacy makes it almost impossible. Okay. Let's see. Um, Deadly Sting. Jennifer S. Steep. The newest chapter in the rip-roaring saga of assassins, Giacomo Balankey's adventures finds Gia's love on the rocks due to events from the previous novel. With Vin and Owen Grayson trading what is hopefully just a temporary break in the relationship, Jin gets talked to in attending a society gala with her foster brother Finn, and Owen, his sister Eva, and Owen's date. Then the shindig is hijacked by a team of giants who plan to seize the priceless art on display. Okay. Thea Harrison, Rising Darkness. 4.5 stars. Rising superstar Harrison ventures into a darker territory with her chilling second book in the Game of Shadows series. As an ER doctor, Mary is used to chaos, but her coping skills seem to be shot. She has always bad, disturbing dreams when the intensity is rising and she started to hear voices. Since he was child, Michael has studied with enigmatic Astra as to fight the deceiver who came to Earth thousands of years ago. Reincarnated over and over for the purpose of finishing this battle, Michael must find his missing wolf, Mary, who has also been incarcerated. Can he find her before the deceiver does? And my gal pal here, the Kitty series. There's a whole bunch of them. Kitty rocks the house. Facing the past and looking forward to the newest future is the theme of Vaughn's newest Kitty Norville novel, as Kitty and her vampire friend Rick are confronted with memories of the past. Kitty, Ben, and Master Vampire Rick are attempting to gather allies for the upcoming war against Asian vampire Roman. However, Rick's attention is diverted when a vampire priest arrives, tempting him with the possibility of a reconnection with his religion. Kitty, too, is tested when a lone wolf arrives in town wanting to join her pack. Kitty soon suspects there's more to his motive than that. We shall see. We shall see. Let's see. On to Harley Quinn. The Cardwell Rancher. B.J. Daniels. Cardwell Rancher Trespasser. 4 stars. Suing shop owner Hildy Jacobson is sure that the woman who claims to be a Cardwell cousin has a dangerous hidden agenda, but only one man will believe her. Deputy Marshal Colt Dawson would do pretty much anything to get closer to Hildy, but when her suspicions start resulting in deadly accidents that nearly cost her life, Colt knows he's got more to worry about. Daniels, as usual, proves she's adept with family relationships as she is with deep intrigue. Driving her crazy. Let's see. here. Got a car. 6. Got a car. Got 6. On a beach. Let's see. 4 stars. Amy Andrews. Journalist Sadie Bliss, a curvaceous, car-sick, celery-eating city girl, is the last person acclaimed photojournalist Kent Nelson would have chosen to be his road trip companion, even if she does turn him on. And to make matters worse, Sadie makes it her mission to uncover the nightmares that haunt him. As they travel back across the Australian outback, Sadie and Kent progress from reluctant travel companions to lovers under the stars. But can they trust each other? We shall see. We shall see. Let's see. If there's, let's see, Brenda Jackson Deary. Are you in here? Brenda, 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 Brenda. Brenda, Brenda. No. What's the Harlequin? Harlequin American, Harlequin Blaze, Harlequin Desire, Harlequin Intrigue, Harlequin Kiss, Harlequin Nocturne, Harlequin Presence, Harlequin Romance, Harlequin Romance Suspense, Harlequin Special Edition, Harlequin Super Romance, Kimmy Romance, and nope, new Brenda Jackson. So I'll just show. Alright, these are there though. I know it. Devin Vaughn, yep. Ooh, they only got 2 stars. I'll just show you the books if you're interested. They got some low ratings. Um, but there are. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to go look this. This is upstairs. It's not even pictured. How do they do a review and not picture it? Okay. Um, all right, let's just do this last one. One erotica for the road. The Office Affair. Naked girl on the cover. Equal opportunity offender. Jesty. The D's Office Affair is one erotic book not to be missed. It's a storyline that other authors shy away from. The all too famous sexual relationship in the workplace. Oops. Investment banker Melissa Sparks wants to make partner and wants her colleague Ben Crowley. She enters his office on a whim and strips naked, offering a no strings attached affair. Once Ben takes a gander at her nothing but a garter belt and heels, he can't say no. Okay. Ah, itch. I don't think there's a Lauren. Oh, there is. Okay, we'll do one more. Lauren Dane, Lush. Ah, 4 stars. Dane returns to her delicious world for the story of a busy caterer who isn't looking for a relationship and the hot drummer who met her and finds he wants a relationship. The sex is frequent. It's not beyond that of your typical mainstream romance. But the role reversal of rock star wanting to commit while the girl next door wants to keep things up. Friends benefits. Mary Whaley has a life full of work and friends, but isn't about to turn down a one-night stand with famous rocker Damian Hurley. She's aware of his reputation and fine with no strings attached, but Damian discovers Mary is someone he just can't resist, and he decides he wants more. So that's basically the end of April 2013. Did you find a new author? Did you find a new book to read? Did your book pile increase? Don't forget to check out Flashback Mondays, and don't forget to check out if thens on Fridays and all the crazy Valentine stuff and all the crazy St. Patrick stuff. Go back and do my J.R. Ward videos. Go back and do my Stephanie Lawrence videos. Go back and do my Native Americans or African Americans or all those authors. Go back and do them all. And please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much.